Hi everyone. So from everything we've seen so far from Resident Evil Village, one thing is clear. Umbrella will not just be making a brief appearance in the last scene of the game like we saw in Resident Evil 7. Oh no, Umbrella is left, right and center. And it looks like this will be an Umbrella origin story. But before I tell you my thoughts, I will be making more Resident Evil videos. So if you want to see more Resident Evil, please subscribe to my channel. It will help a lot. And don't forget to like and leave a comment. Is Resident Evil Village an Umbrella origin story? I thought we already knew how Umbrella first started. Three rich guys named Oswald Spencer, Edward Ashford, and James Marcus discovered the existence of a flower that contained a virus that is said to give the ones who consume it superhuman abilities, but it was very unstable and instead turned the ones who consumed it into monsters. But Marcus suggested that they will be able to create strains of the virus whereby they will be able to control the good effects while suppressing the urge to turn into an absolute abomination. They had this vision of remaking the human race into a superhuman race, where the House of Spencer, the House of Marcus, the House of Ashford are worshipped as deities for bestowing the human race with the gift of the virus. Their vision required lots of research and lots of money. They absolutely couldn't go asking for funding from a bank. I mean, how would that business pitch go, do you think? We are trying to create a superior race by injecting people with a virus. We will be the masters of that new super race and we will be worshipped as deities. Now, can we get a loan for that?
If you grant me this loan, about how long will it take for me to have cash in hand?
Not something you're gonna have to worry about.
Nice.
Obviously, they couldn't do that. So they created a pharmaceutical company and they named it Umbrella. All of that took place in the 1960s, and that's when we thought Umbrella's story began. We thought it was a story of a company that was created by three rich people as a front for their background operations to serve their sinister goals.
Commitment, honesty, integrity, these are the core values that create the foundation for Umbrella. It's this foundation that will continue to build a brighter future for all of us.
It turns out that was not the beginning of Umbrella, but it was the start of Umbrella Corporation, the start of a pharmaceutical company where Umbrella was its name.
Heard of the Umbrella Corporation? They're a pharmaceutical company secretly making bioweapons. They have a virus. It turns people into indestructible monsters.
That explains the horrible things I've seen.
But we now know that Umbrella seems to be much larger than just a pharmaceutical company, and its roots are much older. How can Umbrella be older than the 1960s? It was in the 1960s when it was created, but how can that be? Well, think of it this way. For example, the Red Cross was created close to 140 years ago, but the cross itself as a symbol is much older than that. With what we've seen so far from Resident Evil Village, Umbrella's fingerprints is all over this game, and it doesn't look like it's just a pharmaceutical company this time. This time around it looks like an ideology, a cult with people worshipping, performing rituals, sacrificing and torturing, which to me makes a lot of sense. Umbrella always seemed so fascinated with medieval-like torture. We've seen elaborate lock mechanisms for rooms that makes Jill sandwiches out of them.
Wesker! Barry! Help!
Grab my hand!
A second late, you would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
Jill!
What kind of person makes an entire ceiling fall on your head for taking one item away from it? It's beyond common sense. Whoever designed these places must really enjoy putting people in these situations, where the trapped person has to scramble and run around like mice in a maze to find an exit before it's too late. It must make the person watching them feel really powerful. We see the origins of those torture ideas here in Resident Evil Village, and it looks like these origins go way back. The village has been isolated from the rest of the world for centuries, and there are a lot of indications that show this area is ancient. First, the notes that we see in the Made-in demo are dated back before the existence of the Umbrella company, and Capcom has already mentioned that this village has been isolated from the rest of the world for centuries. Second is this symbol. This symbol is what everyone was wondering about. Many fans are speculating that it's the original Umbrella symbol, which I think is a good guess. Maybe it is the Umbrella symbol, but made with primitive tools, well, aside from the deformed fetus looking thing in the middle there. But I do have more to say about the symbol shortly. Finally, if we look at this image from the Resident Evil website, we see the four families presented as House Dimitrescu, House Beneviento, House Heisenberg, and House Moreau, as opposed to Dimitrescu's family or Heisenberg's family. This indicates to us that this was during a time where aristocratic noble families ruled. Lots of the civilizations in the past were made up of peasants farming the land. The peasants would pay taxes to the lords or the noble families. The lords would have knights working on their behalf to protect loyal peasants and to conquer new lands. The lords pledged allegiance to a king or a royal member. Religion and politics went hand in hand back then. So pledging to a king was the same thing as pledging to a protector of a faith. That leader is what keeps all the houses united together. The houses are much more powerful, united, but they only stay united if there is a benefit in staying together. You see, each house is a wing of Umbrella. We have vampires, wolves, witches, and mermaids, or sea creatures. Each wing is equally important because each wing has unique resources and abilities. When those four wings pool their resources together and coordinate their activities, they are able to accomplish their goals. So essentially, they form an umbrella. And it looks like these four families found this union very beneficial for them to keep it going this long. The plant that Spencer, Marcus, and Ashford discovered in West Africa was not discovered by chance. Maybe they just knew where to look. Maybe they were given directions on where to go and what to do. Some fans speculate that Spencer, Marcus, and Ashford are descendants of these houses. It could be true, but it could be possible that Spencer and his buddies discovered the village and the four houses ruling the village, and they were accepted as members of their cult. Or maybe the four houses discovered them and promoted them, and they became like sworn knights to work on behalf of the four families to carry out their will. But they may not have been satisfied with just being knights. They wanted to become lords. They wanted to become the ones ruling over peasants with superhuman abilities. Spencer, in particular, wanted to become much more. Spencer was ambitious. He wouldn't just be satisfied being a member of one of those families or equal to them. No, he wanted to become the king, the ruler.
Superior breed of humans, given birth by the progenitor virus. The Wesker children were entrusted with endless potential.
Are you saying I was manufactured?
I was to become a god. Creating a new world with an advanced race of human beings.
And that's why he turned against Marcus and Ashford, and perhaps the four families as well. Spencer thought that he could have his own sworn knight that could carry out his deeds, but his sworn knight also turned against him and ended his life.
That right is now mine. The right to be a god. You.
We know that Spencer failed. We know his pharmaceutical company closed and all its assets seized, but we know that the root of Umbrella remains. So long as the root remains, the tree will grow. They will find another Spencer and try again. And the root or origin is what looks like we will be exploring in Resident Evil Village.
Chris? Sorry, Ethan. Why?
And that makes me ask myself another question. What is Chris's role in all of this? Is Chris trying to go for that route? Is he trying to get rid of Umbrella once and for all? Yes, I do understand that he looks like a bad guy here, and it looks like he worked with Umbrella before, but that is a question for another video. I'm going to be making more Resident Evil videos. If you'd like to see more videos, please don't forget to subscribe. It really helps a lot. Press the like button and leave a comment. Thank you very much. Till next time.